This is a Nekko Media podcast.
What's your pleasure, sir?
Schrody, what the fuck?
Schrody.
Sorry, what?
The fuck, man? Enough with your phone. What the fuck app are you playing with?
Grinder, probably.
Tinder, you mean?
Yeah, Grinder is the gay Tinder.
Oh. Okay, wait. How do you know there's a gay Tinder called Grindr?
Because I know shit, son.
Okay, well, we should probably start the show. Schrody!
Sorry, okay. Helcom, Cinephiles and Cenobites. This is episode 13, Weapon X like EX.
Did you just get a text?
Is that what you've been doing? Texting?
Phone off, dude. I feel like that's day one stuff. If we're recording, the phone's off. A child would know that.
Who the fuck you been texting?
Are you smiling? Is he smiling?
He is smiling. Schrody, who are you texting?
Nothing. Nobody. I'm fine, I'm smiling. So what?
So I kind of want to get through this intro so we can talk about Logan, but I also kind of want to know why the fuck you're smiling like a goofy smiling fuck.
Did someone get laid?
Let's just do the show.
Fuck you. Let's do the show. We've been trying to do the show. Spill the beans, bitch.
This is bullshit. Kristen Shampoo got Felissa Rose in this show. All we got is his usually grumpy, currently goofy, no talking motherfucker. Dude, don't take his phone.
Touch my phone, I'll rape your skull.
Jesus fuck. You go on Grinder with that mouth?
I met a girl Valentine's Day. It's no big deal.
Oh,
Schrody.
Schrody.
She's so cool. Her name is Texas.
Wait. Her name is Texas?
Like the state?
Is she like you?
You mean, is she a Cenobite?
No, is she gay like you? Yes, is she a Cenobite?
No, she's a cherub, and I don't think you understand the concept of gay.
Duh, it means you like dick, like you gay duck.
That's not at all what gay means.
Fuck! Get a book, bitches. Gay means homo, homo means you like dick, and homo ties milk.
Homogenized.
What?
Homogenized milk. Whatever. Getting back to Schrodes. Dude, that's awesome.
Dope, dude. Congrats. How'd it happen? Was it like a rom-com, meet-cute type of deal?
Let's do the segment first.
Okay, cool. Good idea.
The /tag configuration.
So did your coyote sneak across her border?
Did you put a little sour cream on the taco?
Also, what the fuck is a cherub?
Alright, welcome to a new /tag configuration. Today we'll be talking about the new film, Logan, 2017, directed by James Mangold. James Mangold. Written by James Mangold, Scott Frank, and Michael Green. Stars Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart,
In an awesome turn.
Daphne Keane as Lara,
Or X-23.
X-23. Boyd Holbrook as Pierce. Really cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Merchant as Caliban. And we also have Richard E. Grant, Dr. Rice. I kept thinking Hudson Hawk throughout the whole movie. Like Hudson Hawk.
He seems like a Hudson Hawky bad guy.
He was in Hudson Hawk. Oh.
Terrible.
And you got Soul Glow.
Yeah. What is Eric LaSalle? De La Salle?
Yeah.
Eric LaSalle.
As the family who kind of takes in Logan and company. And we also have Elizabeth Rodriguez, Gabriela
Of Orange is the New Black. In the twilight. Ew, I hate that they've marred that word. In the twilight of Wolverine's life, he and Professor X, Charles Xavier, are one of the few remaining mutants alive after the legacy virus took a hold and totally wiped out the mutant kind. He is contacted by a Mexican nurse who tells him that there is these group of kids who have been experimented on and created from the genes of mutants to be mercenary soldier killers for this corporation. And she tells him that you need to take care of this one special one, Laura. Come to find out that's his daughter. So he is pressed upon by Professor X to take this girl to a so-called meeting place called Eden, in which they have the coordinates to, all the while chased by, I guess, mercenaries or people who do the bidding of that corporation, manifested by a bunch of robotically enhanced soldiers led by Boyd Holbrook's character.
Yes, that's him. Pierce.
Pierce. Oh, is that his name? I never picked it up. Saw it twice, never picked it up. But yeah, that's basically the thing. That's basically the plot in the nutshell. This is such a simple story, but it is done right with effective characters and a whole lot of blood and guts. I mean, and a whole lot of F words, man.
It's more of a dramatic movie. Because you know
how there is lots of lulls.
Show Shane.
Yeah. They do an homage to Shane. In fact, they work it into it, but
well, they say that's basically Logan, right? Shane. He comes from a kind of broken, disfavorable past, and almost kind of tries to redeem himself.
Sort of. It is a redemption story, but he has a connection to Laura that Shane didn't have to that little kid.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, I guess, because then, Logan.
But it is a redemption story, but it's also humanity and an actual immortality story. You know how they say that your children is your real immortality? So for a guy who regenerates and potentially never dies, this is the real immortality.
Yeah, it's just, and it was also very sad to see where Charles is at this
Wasn't
point.
that a great performance from Patrick Stewart, though? This is Professor X as you've never seen him.
Yeah, and you don't see mutants in the senior housing, on their deathbeds, or so he's suffering from Alzheimer's, right?
I also feel though this is the perfect complement to what is the guy who did Split? He did the young Xavier.
James McAvoy.
This is the perfect complement to James McAvoy's young Xavier performance. Mostly when you think of Xavier, he's composed, he's patronly, he's educated, wise, he's in charge. He is unglued, but you also see remnants of the character he created, but you also see spots that have come undone. He is vulgar. He is
very abrasive,
crabby, and abrasive, and that also goes with the relationship that him and Logan have developed. I mean, they're both very abrasive characters,
it's almost like two grumpy old men.
Yeah, and they've developed sort of a father and son relationship. Even though, ironically, Wolverine is a million times older, but he's not quite as he's still not the Godfather. He's Ultra Magnus. He's not Prime.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Despite age.
Yeah, and still too that Xavier is still a glass half full kind of guy. He's always trying to make the best
in and out of his spots of
most,
Alzheimer's and dementia. Yeah,
out of any situation. Help these guys with the horses, and he brings them in. Okay, no, we'll stay for dinner, so I can rest. Right.
It also shows you the hopefulness of humanity is just crushing. We won't explain about that, but it also shows you that that's really what it is. The hope crushes and gets crushed, but that's really all we're left with, and that is the source of all of our strength. And I feel that this movie touches on a lot of emotions that...
It does, very much.
A lot of raw emotions. Like I said, it's a trite plot that we've seen a million times, but to have it in a comic book universe context and have it deliver so well, I feel it was a home run on a lot of fronts, man.
Yeah. And let's talk on Laura.
Let's talk on Laura. Yeah, Daphne Keane. Yeah. Is she, God. Do you know, is she Mexican? Because I feel like I feel like she nailed it. She's a good
actress. Yeah, she nailed it.
Nada. Okay, shut up already.
No, if she slow it down, she's just saying names. Rebecca.
Victor. Okay, whatever's.
Okay. Got it. Eden, por favor.
Yeah. Mira. Ven aquí.
And so it's funny because then the first thing she says was de nada.
Yeah,
tell them. It was sort of like a Little Miss Sunshine kind of moment, where the guy's first words was fuck. Hers.
Or Planes, Trains, Automobiles. Right. That release, but I feel hers was a little more subtle, but it had that kind of impact for you.
Yeah, Denada. And then like I'm trying to think. Okay, the significance. What is the significance of? Well, she's saying just you're welcome, right? But then he doesn't even say anything, right?
No,
Or
he
says,
said thank you
oh,
for. I don't know how you got me here, but thank you. And then she's like Denada, and he's like, okay,
speak,
well.
okay.
And does you speak? Then what the fuck?
Right.
They have some really good father-daughter moments of her challenging him,
Yeah.
like
Yes.
with the elevator button pushing, and then with the locks in the car.
Right,
And
right.
then at that point where she's saying, you got to take me to Eden, and he's trying to explain to her that Eden doesn't exist.
She punches him like
Right in the face, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's so raw.
It is
Just the emotion. I mean, they casted well.
and it's a very quick like relationship. Like she immediately finds that connection. Like it feels like it's almost kind of forced because she has no one else. Okay, Charles is dead. Gabriella is gone. Like, and now she has interest in Logan, and she already knows who he is at this point. So it's kind of
She's known all along, I feel.
yeah. Oh, okay, right.
But you're right, it is forced. And I feel like, of course, the child is going to force it.
Yeah.
She's got nobody left in this world. She's got friends, but this is family and blood. And
I'm trying to think of
if
another.
you, oh, no, okay, maybe say your point and then I'll get to mine.
No. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. There are at least 2 or 3 times where he leaves her hanging to go and check on Xavier. She is getting assaulted by a bunch of thugs, and he leaves her hanging to go and check on Xavier.
Oh, right. And I feel like I wonder if like in the back of his head, she can take care of herself already. He thinks, but then more important is Xavier. He's gonna choose Xavier over her.
Because that's his family right now. But
Yeah.
Xavier's trying to tell him, this is your blood. This is your family. You know, I'm gone soon. This is what's important. Yeah. This is your legacy, Logan. And I love that the movie is named Logan. And it feels like the movie is named Logan versus Wolverine.
Right, because then it's
Because he's a person in this one.
villains. It's
And
back to, like,
and
normal.
mutants is old news, right? In this world, like, eh.
And like they're just pretty much cleaning up. Like, I mean, getting ready.
Well, I
for
feel
a
this
new-
is a world that doesn't hate or fear them anymore. In fact, they came up, they died out. Humanity was left, so it's like whatever's. This is just a personal story.
Yeah, true.
I feel like a lot of they were building up to this whole war thing and race kind of deal. And I'm like that they went smaller on this scale.
Yeah, because I mean, for sure, if all mutants had like some kind of I guess deceiving plan to take over humanity, it'll be done already. Like no contest.
And I feel like that's what the X-Men movies were going towards that, you know. Now this one is just stripped of all politicalness, all grandeur. It is a simple story about getting this one person from here to there. It's Cyborg, but you're related to this girl, and she spells your redemption and your legacy.
Cyborg or
Every fucking movie, right? I mean,
Children of Men.
Yes, which is a great movie too, right?
American Cyborg, Steel Warrior.
Okay, you just made it shitty. I know you love every movie, but you couldn't have stopped at Cyborg and Children of Men.
Okay, yeah, well, and it was just that connection between Laura and Wolverine.
I feel he was fighting it for the longest.
Yeah, and through the trailers.
They don't spoil that, right?
Yeah. But we already know. I think there was one trailer where they mentioned, "Oh, she's you," but we don't know exactly
what they mean by that. Yeah.
She's a mutant. What kind of mutant? And then
yeah, for the comic book nerds, they're like, well, yeah, she's a clone. But everybody else, I think they just missed that.
Yeah.
I mean, people who don't even know the comics and aren't that attuned to franchises love this movie.
Right. But
it's
Hugh
like Best
Jackman
Western.
sells Logan in this one.
He really does.
Like
he really does.
This is my favorite Marvel movie, and I'm not into Marvel.
He is not at all, dude. You should have heard, like, well, it wasn't that much of a thing, because basically I was like, can we substitute? It was like, well, I'm not into comic book movies, but okay.
But Logan was a good movie. Like, it works as a one-shot, too.
It does.
Like, I don't have to know anything else.
Yeah, we don't really have to know anything else, yeah.
Irrelevant at this point, and of course in this point of the story's arc, where, okay, mutants are dying off. They're an endangered species, and this is the last batch of them, pretty much. And we're looking forward to a new whole era of mutants.
Yeah, and that's
Supposedly.
right, and that's all background to the front and center story of getting her where she got to go, and why should you care?
Yeah.
You know, accepting your humanity. I like the metaphor of they released this new beast X-24, which is the next generation of
Oh, right, okay.
bioengineered mutant
And then they
facsimile
go
killers.
toe-to-toe on this one.
Yeah, it's like the young, like, tell him you're MJ. Tell him
It's
you're
MJ in his 30s at his prime.
with
while
the
he's still
bulls.
And then this is this MJ with
Versus-
the Wizards. Like his last season with the Wizards.
with the
right?
Wizards, and Logan being Wizards MJ.
Yeah. And experience, I think, tops it. Trumps younger MJ, I think. And
Not
in a
for the
sense,
win, but
Not
for
for
the
the win.
overall poignance.
Or
Yeah.
even Balboa. You know, Balboa. You know.
Yeah. And that's what I feel he should get an Oscar for, because this is like how Sylvester Stallone did with Rocky Balboa in the Creed film.
Right.
He's sickly, he's crumbled. Everything you've known of this guy is shattered and gone. But he's still pushing, and he finds a reason to believe and push on and be great.
Yeah.
Like Wolverine is totally susceptible or vulnerable or killable. Like
He's a broken dude. Like
he actually gets kind of pounded
Yeah.
a bunch of times, right,
broken
in this film.
in more ways than one.
It opens with him getting roused from his sleep in his rent-a-Uber limo thing
I know, and I was like, wait, what?
by some cholos.
Is he drunk? Is he past?
I guarantee you he's drunk, yeah.
Oh my god.
And then he's like just asking them to stop, and of course they try to murk him with a shotgun blast, but
I know, like, so in this movie he goes from that was a Chrysler limo.
yeah, 2024 edition.
Yeah, 2024. Because it's 2029 in this movie.
In this film, yeah.
And so he goes from that and he goes to a Ford Bronco. And then
OJ.
What was that one car that he buys? I want to say that was like a
It's like a
Ram or
T150 or
something.
F150,
Oh, okay.
250, and some farm
and
thing.
it costs him 10,000, you know, without the paperwork, and it breaks down after like a few days. Like, oh man.
They really let you see him falling apart, and
Yeah.
his daughter X-23 Laura is like watching him fall apart, and she kind of grabs the reins from there.
Right, yeah. Oh my god, this is what this poor girl went through, and she kind of took the lead. She's like, "I'll drive. Let me drive. You're sleeping."
Yeah, well, that's what I was trying to tell my homie, you know, to watch it, because he got a daughter and he's kind of a broken dude.
Okay, but I think this being Hugh Jackman's final time as Wolverine / Logan, like, it was very moving. It moved me, and I think it deserves like an Oscar nod, like for real.
And a nod, not a win, but a nod.
a nod,
A
like-
nod on several fronts, because it transcends the genre of comic book movies.
Yeah, because he's not playing a superhero. He's just playing
In
an old
fact,
friend.
right, he's fallible as fuck.
Yeah, he's playing
An old
father.
friend, a new father. Yeah.
It's like, what?
In a world that he's ill-equipped to deal with,
Yeah,
but
a
he's
world
trying
that
his
hates
best.
his kind, really. A world that hates him, and he's just trying to do the right thing, not not a good thing. He's trying to do the right
thing.
Yes, you know, and man, and the way to go out, they went out with a bang on this one.
They really did. This was such a great nod to the character that he's played for 17 years and to the fans who have supported him all this time, you know.
They
I
need to
think
retire this.
they should retire the Logan jersey or
yeah,
the
the-
Wolverine jersey, you know.
Can't
I
go
know
to no one else.
I know that won't happen because of capitalism, but
Retire it.
it sets the bar high for it's not exactly as simple as the bat suit. This is a suit / skin / whatever mantle that is going to be super hard to fill, and you know, me and Ono feel that it just should be retired.
Should be retired, yeah. Or who knows? Maybe they're the right actor, right time.
I would
right
love to be
director.
I
Surprise
would-
me, Marvel.
but not next year, guys.
Yeah,
right?
not next year.
Not next season, guys. Fuck.
give
Give it some time to
this
gestate.
Give
Yeah.
this movie. Wait till the black and white version comes out, and then wait a few years after that, and then maybe we'll see.
Then shake it up. But if you come on in the next couple of years, that's just trying to capitalize on it. I mean,
It's too soon.
I love this movie.
Yeah,
It's the best movie I've seen in the past couple of years.
Best movie of the year so far.
Oh, for you?
Yeah,
nice.
I think so. Resident Evil comes in a close second.
I feel you may have just cheapened this movie. Like, you got to talk on some dramas that's outside of what we've seen.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, this doesn't compare to anything yet. Logan is by far the best movie of the year so far.
I say so, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. But you should definitely check it out.
Go watch CC.
Okay, so you met a girl. Her name is Texas. She's a cherub?
Which is an angel, apparently.
Yeah, we met at a theater at Valentine's Day. There was a horror marathon. She sat near to me and we laughed at the same parts and got to talking, and afterwards hung out and ate pie and just talked all night. It was so cool. She's so cool.
That's pretty ballsy of you to go out alone on Valentine's Day. I head out at home with the vodka and ice cream. Ooh, they should make ice cream flavored vodka. Do they have that? Or vodka flavored ice cream? What'd you do, Ono?
Just another Tuesday for me. So, have you guys hung out since then?
I had to come all the way from the shitty bowels of the labyrinth to bumfuck Treeville, Hawaii to find my true love. If you gave me 1,000,000 years to ponder, I would have never guessed that romance and bumfuck Treeville, Hawaii would ever go together. Until this day, I keep asking Texas why our world seemed to be collapsing and things seem to be getting so shitty. And she says, that's the way it goes. But don't forget, it goes the other way too. That's the way romance is, usually. That's the way it goes. But every once in a while, it goes the other way too.
Oh, God, we get it already. She's awesome.
Jealous?
Kinda.
Me too. Now I'm depressed.
And fat. Don't forget fat.
Cooking and streaming.
And diabetes. Right, my recommendation is a Netflix original, Santa Clarita Diet, just released in February. It was created by Victor Fresco and stars Drew Barrymore, Timothy Oliphant, Liv Hewson, and Skylar Gisondo. Also on the show, Mary Elizabeth Ellis, Richard T. Jones, and Ricardo Chavera. So Santa Clarita Diet focuses on a small family in what looks like the suburbs of Santa Clarita, California. Drew Barrymore and Timothy Oliphant are a married couple, both realtors who work together, Sheila and Joel Hammond. Their daughter Abby Hammond, played by Liv Hewson, Drama World, who's in high school. She pretty much is the same character, just maybe a few years younger, and minus the K-drama.
Yeah.
Well, Sheila starts the day off routinely, and what's different is she experiences, an episode of pain, like stomach pain. It goes away and she's fine. Later, while showing a house to potential home buyers, she excuses herself to the restroom and vomits, like gallons and gallons of vomit. The amount of vomit that came out of Sheila was inhuman, and it's also later mentioned in the episode again, like it was a lot of vomit. So Sheila recovers, but it turns out this was sort of like a supernatural event. Sheila's dead, it turns out. She's undead, no heartbeat, and she's craving meat, raw meat.
That's what she said.
Okay. Yeah, raw meat.
She's craving raw meat. That's what she said.
Yeah. So how does her family react? Well, they learn to live with Sheila's new self. But with some further research into Sheila's condition, and with help from the neighbor kid, Eric Bemis, played by Gisondo, turns out there may be a cure. A few more deaths occur throughout the series, and it's no help that the Hammonds live, next to a sheriff and a police officer. Find the cure, and they find a way out of their killer situation. Okay. So this show is like Arrested Development. So this show is like Arrested Development meets Zombieland. There's two parts to the show. It's comedy and horror, and excels in both. The show is hilarious, with much of its humor dry and subtle. I laughed my ass off on the last 4 episodes. I mean, it did progressively get more funny that way. But I won't spoil it.
I thought it went the other way.
You'll just have to watch it, though.
Cool, I will.
All the horror, a majority of it is cringe-worthy and bloody. The gore is top-notch. And they don't mess around when it gets bloody gross. The detail that goes into the rawness of just body parts and vomit is pretty sick. And I mean that in more ways than one. Now, sick. Like it's sick. No. Now, Drew Barrymore and Timothy Olyphant, their chemistry on screen is amazing. They work as a couple. I mean, Barrymore has never let the audience down when it comes to rom-coms or chick flicks. And, her 3 films with Adam Sandler. All hitters, no splitters. Blended is the bomb.
Blended really is, actually. I was all prepared to hate that fucking movie.
I mean, a third one, Wedding Singer, 50 First Dates, now Blended. And she just shines as like...
She does.
As like a couple, a significant...
I even like, what's her name? Bella Thorne in that movie.
Bella Thorne?
Bella Thorne, she's like a fucking...
Oh, yes.
But she plays as Larry.
Yeah. Right. In Blended, you're talking about. Right?
Yeah.
So,
that's like the only time I've seen her act.
Right. Yeah, I think...
Well, that and Big Sky, but...
And Oliphant's exchange, banter, and comedic timing are on spot. Yeah. I'm a fan of most of his work, because I say most because I haven't seen it all. But Live Free or Die Hard, Hitman, The Crazies, Gone in 60 Seconds.
He was in The Crazies?
Yeah. He was the main guy.
Sorry, that was just such a forgettable movie.
Well, they're all absolutely badass. His previous character
didn't name any of his good ones. Okay.
Well, I didn't see those ones. His previous characters tend to be antagonistic, villainous, but he could also lead and drive a well-written story.
He's charming.
And he does so in, Santa Clarita Diet. As Joel Hammond, Oliphant is, he's charming, chill, and cool. But sometimes it feels like he's just a pressure cooker ready to explode. That tension makes his character enjoyable to watch and listen to. Their daughter, Abby, played by Houston, is wonderful as well, adding fuel to the fire a lot of the time between her parents. But she has that neighbor kid, Eric, to be there to help out as well.
Oh, is there like a thing between them?
He is in love with her.
That's what she said.
Yeah. The overall story of Santa Clarita Diet is a fun one, and it's not just another doll show trying to collect in on the triteness of this zombie-filled era of programming. Or maybe it is. There's mention of comics, nothing new, conventions, con this, con that, and underground pop culture, because mainstream things suck. But it is a show that also favors academics, encourages compromise, and presents strong family values. And if you take out the zombie subplot, you have Arrested Development meets Fuller House, 2 other Netflix originals. And that's my recommendation, Santa Clarita Diet, currently streaming 10 episodes on Netflix.
Well, that sounds good. I mean, that was on my to-watch list. I'm surprised you got to it so quickly. Like, I feel like a lot of the series that we're profiling is like months after they've been dropped. This one kind of just like dropped, right?
I wanted to try to more current one.
Yeah. That's what we're starting from. Okay. Now, speaking of new, I'm going to drop something super old. I have 2010 Steakland, directed by Jim Mickle, written by Nick D'Amici and Jim Mickle. Starring Nick D'Amici, Connor Paolo, Kelly McGillis, Michael Cerveris, and Danielle Harris. I feel like I struggle to pronounce her name when it's easy. And Danielle Harris. In the post-vampocalypse, young Martin, played by Connor Paolo, is rescued by hunter/drifter Mr., played by Nick D'Amici, after witnessing his parents and infant sibling being torn apart by vampires. Mr. trains Martin to fight and survive in the bloody barren nightmare that the world has become. Along with some folks they meet, the group traverse the U.S. headed north for New Eden, a Canadian settlement that offers a paradise free from vamps. There's nothing really new here if you swap vampires with zombies, but the director does a nice job of presenting it in a somber, sobering fashion. My feeling is that Jim Mickle took Nick D'Amici's C-movie script idea and worked it into a watchable flick in an overhatched setting. The acting is good and the gore is great and plentiful. Nick D'Amici is badass as always, with his quiet charisma. He was born to play no-name cowboys. The characters they meet and add to the group along the way are one by one killed, some unceremoniously, save the nun, played by Kelly McGillis, whose appearance does anything but take your breath away, unless it's a gasp of disbelief. Time has not been kind. Her character reminded me sort of TWD's Carol. Like, I thought she'd transform into a badass, but her character never arcs in that direction. The group meets her after she is violently raped by members of the Brotherhood, a group of faux religious fanatics who ravage survivor settlements, allowing the vamps to rampage. Mr. kills 2 of the Brotherhood that pursue the nun, for more raping probably. One dude he tosses a tire iron that he fastened blades to, so it's like a giant shuriken. It's awesome. What's less awesome is that the dude who got shuriken happens to be the son of this particular Brotherhood faction by the name of Jebediah Lilith, played by Michael Cerveris. So Jebediah and his clansmen, essentially, hunt down Mister's group and start picking them off one by one, culminating in the abduction of Belle, a pregnant lounge singer they met in a bar, played by Danielle Harris. Jebediah, who has become some sort of mutated vampire at this point, is a new breed, able to think and not ruled by the reptilian part of his brain. What he does to Bella is super fucked up. Also, at one point in the journey, the group passes through a nice, wholesome settlement of people. On the night of a town celebration, the Brotherhood dropped vampires from helicopters right into the middle of Main Street. Don't ask me how the fuck they captured vamps, got access to helicopters, strung them up, and then choppered them above the town with nobody hearing them. But it's awesome. 1 minute it's like mini harvest festival. Next minute it's like raining bloodsuckers who basically hit the ground running and start mangling motherfuckers proper like. They even murk a bunch of kids. For a movie cataloged by Netflix, this film is boss and definitely deserves a watch. There's also a sequel that looks like shit and doesn't have the guiding hand of Jim Mickle to give it the coming of age feel the first one does. The sequel looks more like coming on a dead horse. Ugh. But I digress. The original Stakeland is awesome. And definite you'll watch CC. Check it out, it's on Netflix.
Okay, can I just say one last thing about her?
I feel like we should do the introduction since you totally fucked that up.
Let's let him get it out of his system real quick, then we'll do the intros.
Cool. Okay, hurry up.
Amid the chaos of the day, when all I could hear was the thunder of gunshots and all I could smell was the violence in the air, I look back and am amazed that my thoughts were so clear and true. That 3 words went through my mind endlessly, repeating themselves like a broken record. You're so cool. You're so cool. You're so cool.
Are you kidding me right now? Have you been true romancing us the whole time? You fucking liar.
Are you serious? So did you meet a chick or what?
That's what we need to know and you two to do the intros.
Unlocked at villainous_kind. Shout out to the Pod and family and /tag movie pod squad. Don't go down that road as they get their ducks in a row to splatter them under their new RV as they traverse the countryside over the next year, bringing you the murder and mayhem the way only they, John and Rachel, can. What up to Kung Fu Movie Drive-In? Just keep kicking. Showing off John and his new show now in Technicolor. And major shout out to the Iowa boys at Buds, Beers, and Brutality. Thank you to Chris and Shampoo who joined us on our top 6 vacation getaways Cinebite. Sometime in the near future, we hope to get the nerd on as well. Lastly, as always, stay rating Oakland.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Anofre. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the show.
I'm Schrody Schrodinger with those lucid dreams.
Fuck your intro, lying ass bitch.
Just tell the truth. Did you meet a girl on Valentine's Day?
Yes.
Is her name Texas?
Yes.
Is she an angel?
Yes.
Like an actual angel?
Yes.
Are you lying?
Secular insanity.
Fuck him, I'm over it.
I have the movie in order of Disappearance. Directed by Hans-Peter Moland, written by Kim Futz Aiksen, starring Stellan Skarsgård, Bruno Gans, and Paul Sverhagen. So, after winning an award for being a great citizen, Swedish immigrant Niles Dickman, played by Stellan Skarsgård, sets off on a killing spree to avenge the needless murder of his only son by Norwegian drug dealers. That is basically as complex as this piece of shit gets. Which would be fine if there were actual violence, but there is very little. Do not believe any write-ups on the ultra-violence of this movie, especially if you are an American or Asian. However, this could be what Scandinavians consider as violent, I don't know. Maybe it's just Norwegians who are weak sauce because the Swedes know how to bring it. Girl with the Dragon Tattoo trilogy, The Killing, Let the Right One In, they are all super dark and violent and have the kind of indie slow burn pace that explodes at the climax. In Order of Disappearance has a slow melt pace that all but disappears into a puddle of snowy sewage. Roll end credits. Also, the gangsters in this crap are the weakest vanilla-ass puftas I've ever seen. They do not look imposing and their actions are softer than sidewalk Haagen-Dazs. The main villain is a fucking hippie/yuppie vegan amalgam that lesser minds might find clever, but a keen eye helps you see quirk for the sake of quirk, which really works against this film because the bad guy can and should have some lighter, even comical shades to his character, but I feel like this villain is more wanksta with a shade of gangsta instead of the other way around. It's easy to see how a man who drove a snowplow for a living can just all of a sudden fucking run up on these guys and start dropping career criminals like it's hot. With villains like these, I'm wondering why Norway isn't swarming with vigilantes. You don't even need a cape and cowl, just like a loaf of bread. These bastards have gluten allergies. They also try very hard to echo classics like Fargo and Pulp Fiction. They even go so far as having one of the characters steal Marcellus Wallace's line about pain is weakness leaving the body. The cinematography is nice, reminding me of Ansel Adams-esque landscapes with kind of a dark undertone of murder, which was exciting for me as the film was setting itself up. I was really looking forward to this. I love Stellan Skarsgård and Scandinavians, but it never goes anywhere. The violence barely ramps up, the story doesn't twist, other than at one point Niles goes to visit his brother who used to work for these so-called gangsters, and the brother advises him to hire a hitman, which he does, but the hitman, a Japanese dude named the Chinaman, does nothing. He sells Niles out to the bad guys and then gets killed off-screen. The writers again try too hard to create a Tarantino vibe with the dialogue, but just comes across as trite and needlessly racist. Because it doesn't feel organic to the characters. It feels like somebody definitely wrote it and is forcing them to just say all this racist shit. Anyway, I will say I don't speak Norwegian, so there are subtleties in the translation that may have been lost, and a lot of times that can make all the difference. Also, I'm not from Norway or Scandinavia, so I'm not versed in their cultures. I may have missed a lot within that given context. This film may be worth a watch. It's on Netflix, but don't expect much, especially if you're not Norwegian. And if you're American and Asian, or from a country that knows how to properly do violent gangster shit, hashtag no watch CC.
That movie sounds terrible.
Fuck you, liar.
I feel like if he did meet an angel named Texas, we should send her dick pics so she thinks he's a perv and ditches his ass.
That sounds awesome. But why would an angel have a cell phone?
Why would this goofy bitch demon have a cell phone?
Good point. Schrody, we're gonna send your imaginary girl dick pics.
She's real.
Cool, we're gonna send her dick pics.
I hope you have a telephoto lens.
Ha! Oh no, burn! That's what you get for teasing jujitsu.
That was a burn on both your houses.
In your face, son.
So how's your other project coming along?
My gaming channel, Give Me Seconds, is approaching 1 year of existence.
Ooh.
And its 100th video in April. My music podcast you can check out at takingtheleadmedia.com. Hopefully, I'll get it up to some weekly episodes. Please do check that out, though.
Yeah, you was talking about how you're gonna start uploading it for like weekly and stuff. You got like a new idea for that?
No new ideas, really. Just,
Unlicensed music?
no, good music, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, but, you know, without... This guy fears the corporations crumbling down on us. Anyway, we've been pushing hard the last couple months to get the website ready for launch. I'm still at the infancy stage of my graphic novel, Darkness and Fireflies.
What's that about?
It's about a dude who's a sole survivor on a space station. He finds out that a virus broke out and turned everyone into creatures that he managed to contain in other areas of the ship, and that the vaccine he needs to inject himself with every 90 days to stave off the virus also causes memory loss. So every 90 days, he basically starts over again using instructions he left himself to develop a permanent cure without side effects and other shit that needs to be done to maintain the ship. One of which includes posting distress beacons to lure other crafts to the station so he can feed them to the creatures. Eventually, he starts to find clues that are contrary to the instructions he's left himself, including how the virus first got to the space station. So it's kind of like Memento on a spaceship, but with monsters.
Awesome. You gonna do a Kickstarter?
I don't know. I feel iffy about asking strangers for money for something that isn't complete. It's basically like selling them swampland in Florida.
Or a Nigerian prince who needs your bank account number so he can deposit millions.
Right? Now, Kickstarter is awesome, and we definitely fund projects. But I feel if something you're passionate about is that important to you, you'd find a way to fund it yourself. I feel like people nowadays are way too comfortable asking strangers for money. I don't know. For Darkness and Fireflies, maybe, but that might be too personal. I might beg for money on another thing me and Ono got going in the works. My cousin is putting together an online network and is looking for programming, so we got a horror comedy called Killers with Candy we're developing. It's a found footage, point of view style web series that follows a group of masked wannabe killers as they bungle their way to their first kill. So we may have our hand out to the masses for that one.
Dope, we promise no whitewashing, but token casting might be unavoidable.
Cool. Everyone should definitely be on the lookout for what you cats drag in. For now, check out The Shorter Straw.
All right, for this shortest straw, I have 2011's Bear. The film was directed by Nash Edgerton and written by Edgerton and David Michaud. The film stars Edgerton, Teresa Palmer, and Warwick Thornton. I want to give away the ending, but it's a real surprise twist. Very unexpected. I was pretty shocked when I first saw it, so I guess I won't say anything. But the film starts out with an alarm going off, and the two characters, Jack and Emily, played by Edgerton and Palmer, respectively, are still in bed. So Jack opens his eyes but doesn't do a damn thing. Emily wakes up and slams on the alarm to turn it off. So now Emily is changing, we get some side boob by the way, and gets into some workout clothes. Jack gets up after she leaves and kind of smiles a little sinister smile. So we see him brushing his teeth right after the title credits roll, and he gets into the kitchen while Emily is fixing up some toast. Jack takes a chug of juice from the bottle, and takes half of Emily's toast and jumps on the couch and turns on the TV, all in his underwear. So I'm thinking to myself, this guy doesn't deserve Teresa Palmer. How did he get to living with Teresa Palmer? The world works in mysterious ways. Anyway, Emily is a bit pissed off after watching him steal her toast, so she throws the other half of it at Jack. She grabs her helmet and jacket as she heads out of the apartment, opens the door and turns back at Jack. She stares at him for like a short moment, waiting for some kind of response. All we get is a confused, "What? What's wrong?" So she leaves and goes off biking, because that's what people do these days. Anyway, Jack gets up immediately from the couch to check where Emily is headed. He gets to dressing up, puts some pants on, and takes a box of stuff, and we see streamers sticking out. So he leaves the house. Turns out it is Emily's birthday, and he's gonna surprise her. And it's one hell of a surprise. So I'll stop there, go watch this short film, search for it on YouTube or Vimeo. It's called Bear. Really twist ending, very funny. So there's this other short film by Edgerton titled Spider, and it may or may not be the same character he plays, but that one is good as well. Twist in that one. But Bear is a nice short comedy with a sudden turn of events gone wrong that began with good intentions. Edgerton does have a nice repertoire of shorts in his credits and a good chunk available to watch online, and other new projects in the works, some with good twist endings. Be sure to check out Bear by Nash Edgerton. You'll watch CC.
Bear? Didn't you do something like Cub or something last show?
No, I did the Cub on episode 11. Nothing alike. Shit, I forgot to bring that up, that we're gonna get into audio theater too.
What the fuck is audio theater?
It's like an audiobook sorta, where some parts are voiced by actors, with sound effects, a score, and a narrator, that type of thing. It's pretty cool. We're gonna start off with a two-parter called Jane Doe, based on a song me and Mox did a while ago with our band Nose Goblin.
Nose Goblin?
I don't think we were Nose Goblin yet, were we? I think we were still Critical Mass.
No, we were Nose Goblin. We did Black Love Lost when we were Critical Mass.
You might be right. Black Love Lost was supposed to be on the EP, The Melody of Chaotic Ascension.
Yeah, right.
These titles sound horrible. What the fuck is a Black Love Lost?
It's about when Buffy lost Angel because he became Angelus after he lost his soul, and how she struggled with him being the new big bad, and like, who do you go to for comfort and support when the person you usually turn to is the one hurting you?
I feel like a dingo ate your man cards.
Says the guy with an imaginary girlfriend.
Ha! Schrody is the new Lars.
The ladder.
Wait, we're not done talking about imaginary girlfriends.
Schrody's ladder.
Alright, welcome to the Schrody's Ladder. We're going to be talking about books from our childhood. Some scary stories and some kind of scary, not necessarily horror-ish, but just weird at the time, I feel. One of my more memorable books from childhood. Memorable because it was weird and more strange than it was scary. The book is called In a Dark, Dark Room and Other Scary Stories. It's a collection of scary stories retold by Alvin Schwartz with illustrations.
Really? That's Alvin Schwartz too?
Yeah. Nice. Illustrations by Dirk Zimmer, published in August 1984. And it was part of the I Can Read series. That should give you an idea of what reading level is. Yeah.
See spot jump. Yeah, well, that illustrator ain't shit compared to Stephen Gamble, but...
I read this book as early as probably kindergarten or the first grade. after mastering Dr. Seuss literature, and we were learning how to check out books from the library.
Oh yeah, what Dewey Decimal and all that.
Well, yeah, this was right before I think our school transitioned to electronic catalogs, because we were still looking up books through the card catalog and
Holy fuck! How old am I? Because
having to write out
it
our
was.
names.
Oh yeah. That's
right?
my experience. Wow.
Yeah. So
Only
I think
4 years apart. Jesus.
Yeah.
I guess that's all the difference it took, though.
Yeah. Just, I think once they started, it was just get rid of these cards.
You have to learn those electronic shits. I didn't learn that till fucking middle school.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
Nice. But yeah, please, because this is one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
Speak on the In a Dark Dark Room.
Dark room.
Speak on the girl.
The girl with the red. Well, in this one, it's the green ribbon.
Yeah, but she's also been. This is like a big time folklore story with like red, yellow ribbon. Yeah.
Yeah, and so basically the story is this guy likes this girl.
Yeah.
They start dating, and he asks about the ribbon on her neck. Yeah. She's like, I can't tell you about it yet. Yeah. So it kind of flash forwards. They get married. She still won't tell him, and then she's on her deathbed. She's like, now I can tell you, and he's like, here, let me show you. So she takes off the red ribbon or green ribbon, and
fucking head falls off.
Her head falls off. I mean, what is
what is that about, really?
What is a child supposed to interpret from that? Like, I guess don't ask.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
Or don't be like, don't push it. Like, just leave it.
But the guy did the right thing. He didn't force the issue in this particular retelling.
Yes.
But I've heard versions where he forces the issue before they have a life together.
Damn.
And her head falls off. It's like that other one, the Tales from the Dark Side.
Yeah.
Where, the monster comes to him and, like, tells him, I'm going to kill you. He's like, no, I'll never tell anybody. Then he meets a chick, they have kids, and then he tells his wife, who he had kids with, yeah, I saw this gargoyle thing, and then he's like, you said you're never going to tell, and then everything ends.
Oh, my God. But see, like, that I think of Titanic. A woman's heart is as deep as a deep ocean of secrets.
True.
And it is so true.
And if you try to force the issue, you'll just hit an iceberg.
No, or buy her a Louis Vuitton bag. She'll tell you everything, maybe. That's what or they say buy her a bag, she'll never leave you.
That sounds superficial, maybe.
The woman told me that.
Was she a superficial woman, or was she like trying to get you to buy her a bag?
I don't know. But yeah, that's In a Dark Dark Room.
Okay.
It's a nice quick reads. I mean, if you read it now, I mean, you think it's weird, but it certainly has a different impact on you if you read it as a child.
It's probably been retold a bunch of times by now.
Yeah.
Which I've discovered, like, looking up one of my picks. Yeah. So for my first story, I have also from Alvin Schwartz retelling from his book, Even More Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which is part 3 of his series of the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It's called Harold.
Oh, which one was that one?
It is about 2 farmers who take their cows into the hills to graze for 2 months. They get so bored, they create a scarecrow and name him Harold after another farmer that they mutually hate. They treat Harold like shit. So one day he comes to life and he skins one of the farmers and lays the skin to dry out in the sun on the roof.
He skins one of the farmers.
Like a motherfucker. I know.
Wow.
As a kid, this just burnt into my brain. Like, I'm thinking, like, right? Like, a fucking bloodied skin drying in the sun.
Yeah.
And that kind of fucked me up.
Dear Lord. Okay. Well, you could think of, like, why parents would get, like, mad about children reading this kind of literature. But
they haven't done the research.
Yeah.
Kids who read scary stories when they're young, they found that they are more adept at dealing with difficult crises in their lives because they've faced these things when they were younger.
Well, I think it's fine. Like, I think once you learn how to read whatever you can.
Well, the subject matter that you deal with too. If you're always reading fairy tale bullshit or fucking youth literature shit, what does that do for you besides make you a dumb fuck walking into a world that is unforgiving? Dumb fuck.
Well, that's why you gotta dabble into the nonfiction as well.
That's true. But I mean, trying to get kids into reading nonfiction, which I actually prefer a lot. I mean, it takes a lot to get me to read fiction just because they're so disappointing usually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so what you got as your second story from childhood?
I remember this The three Billy Goats. Three Billy Goats gruff.
I feel like this should have been your starter. This is much of a weaker story.
No, but I think this one is more illustrations than it was story.
Unless, did the Billy Goat Gruffs get killed by the troll? Because I could, like,
No,
I haven't heard that in my story.
So it's the little Billy Goat, and then middle, and then the older brother. And when he crosses the bridge, like, he tears this troll a new asshole. Like, it's pretty. It was gruff. But I'm not sure which illustrator, because I mean, it's one story told, many times over, but depending on the illustrator, I think the one with the more graphic illustrations probably has a more of an impact on such a simple story. But, like, because the first Billy Goat that tries to cross, eat the next one, so let me pass. And then,
He's even bigger than me.
yeah. And then, so when he's finally sees the bigger one, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna have a big ass meal with you." He's like, no.
Except you get fucked up, son.
You mess
Stay
up,
under your bridge, tro.
So I don't know the lesson here is if it's not your bridge, let them pass.
I don't know if that's a lesson, but
No, I don't think it is. But I think it's more like this troll trying
like bird in the hand. I think should have ate that little one when you had the chance, idiot.
Yeah, true. But that one's is, I guess, not so much of a strong story, but
Well, I don't know if they have this in the mainland, but you know, being from what you've heard, like search take at the bus.
search take.
Yeah, have you not? Like,
No.
you get quarter, I don't know, quarter, search take, where they're basically inviting themselves to, like, pat you down, and if you're lying, they'll take whatever they find in your pockets.
Oh no, I've never
Have you not? Hold
Wow.
on, little.
Well,
Yeah,
because
that's
then
the thing. Like at the bus stop, like
if I know more money, then I'm not gonna get on the bus. You don't have to search me. If I don't have it, I'm going on it. So. Search take.
yeah, search take. That was the thing. Like, well, you get quarter or 50 cents, or you get $1. Oh, no more. I only get blah, blah, blah. Okay, search take then. Nah.
Then I'll enter my. Make sure I only have candy in my pockets. And you can take this bubble gum.
So there kind of was like trolls under a bridge, but like, at the bus stop.
Oh.
So. I forget what that means. Either kiss or punch. Anyway. So for my number 2, I got Oh Susanna. This one has been told a bunch of times, but this is from the part 2 of Alvin Schwartz's trilogy of scary stories called More Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. So a college student named Susanna comes home late one night to find her roommate Jane already sleeping. So she quietly changes, slips into her bed. In the middle of the night, she is awoken by someone singing the old-timey tune, Oh Susanna. So she obviously thinks it's her roommate and asks her to stop so she can go back to sleep. The singing stops. Susanna falls back to sleep. She wakes up a few hours later, just before dawn, but feels like it's too early to wake up. Before she can fall back to sleep, the singing starts up again. She asks Jane to stop. The singing gets louder. She asks again. Again, the singing intensifies. Finally, gripped with rage, Susanna gets out of bed and storms over to Jane's bed and rips the covers off of her, then screams when she discovers that someone cut Jane's head off.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Sir, where'd you get these books from me?
That's the shit you read when you're young, son.
Oh. I know, I feel like I should have brought up R.L. Stine, but, like, I've never read any Goosebumps. I tried to
They're
read,
all shitty.
or Fear Street. Remember the Fear Street series?
No.
Well, it was just a more
Could've
like
been after my time.
no, it was just a intermediate to high school level of Goosebumps. It was R.L. Stine, but Fear Street was his.
Yeah, that's sorry. I never really got into children's kind of things. Like by the time that R.L. Stine was hitting, I was already reading Clive Barker.
All right, so my third pick is
Is it gonna be Billy Goat Gruffish?
no, it was The Boy Who Cried Wolf.
Okay, is this a good one? Because I feel like it could be.
You've read this, right?
Right, but I don't know what version you read. Like, I feel like the version I read was kind of pussy, but the version
think-
you're gonna bring up could be creepy.
No,
and
it's
like,
basically the same story. Like, the boy got in trouble, and so he has to watch this guy's sheep, and then because out of boredom, he kind of, to put more excitement in his watch, he yells wolf, right? And he does it twice, and so the third time, that's when the wolves actually come in, and that's when the villagers don't help him, and now he's sad.
Sad? I think he's dead.
No, he doesn't get killed from the wolf. He's just
What the fuck story you read?
like
Dude, in the one I read, he gets fucking torn to shreds.
by the wolf.
Yeah.
Wow, but then how would there be no lesson? Like he has to like.
The lesson is for the reader, not for the boy.
No, but I mean like by killing the boy who cried wolf, what does that do? Like
It tells you don't fuck around and yell fire when there's no smoke.
oh.
Because when you need someone to show up and help you, they just won't. And that, it's like crying rape. It's like saying this, that, when it's not true. When shit does happen, people
Because,
won't be there.
The guy tells him, don't like you need to change your ways, boy, because no one's gonna tolerate you if you keep being a liar.
To me, it's a stronger lesson when you don't have a wise mentor telling you the lesson. You just need to take it from, oh, he got murdered. The lesson is, don't say false shit, mentiroso.
But I think this story, I bring this one up because it's I think it's
a creepy story.
It's significant now with all the fake
The
so-called
internet,
quote unquote
yeah.
fake news, and people like
Our fake president.
And I think the only way to regard a story as truthful, you're gonna have to keep reading more sources on it. So it's more work on your part. Like if a news source.
Well, like they tell you with your papers, like, it's only as good as your sources.
Well, like
What
yeah,
you're
like if
citing.
you read that and then you got to read something else to defend that, and so you just got to keep reading more. But I think just no bullshit, like really.
Yeah, it's better with murder. Okay, so this one is called Crunch Crunch, and I found it again on scaryforkids.com. It's based on an old Japanese lore. So this is just the updated version because I cannot recall or find where I found this originally in print. Anyways, it goes like this. A young man has a reoccurring dream where he is at his middle school. He goes to use the bathroom. While in the stall, he finds a crumpled piece of paper in his pocket. He straightens it out and sees that it has the words crunch, crunch written on it repeatedly. Suddenly, in the stall next to him, he hears the sound crunch, crunch. He peers over and sees a creepy girl eating the face off of another student. The young man books out of there and makes it to the school exit after hopping a wall. When he lands, he sighs in relief. Just then, he feels something clutch the back of his neck. He turns and he sees the girl from the bathroom. She cackles hysterically and then whispers in his ear, "I thought I could kill you this time. I thought I could kill you this time." He wakes up, relieved that this was just a dream. He decides he should write this down so he remembers how he escaped. He grabs a notebook nearby and looks for a blank page to write down the dream. But there aren't any blank pages. Scribbled on every page are the words, crunch, crunch. He realized this wasn't the first time he had this dream. And every time he has this dream, it becomes harder to escape. One night soon, he'll go to sleep and never wake up.
Jeez, that wasn't the story, right? That was just a summary of that.
Yeah, that was the summary.
Okay.
Why?
I was like, wow, that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, the story is actually much more scary. Yeah.
Wow. God damn.
Have you not heard that one? Crunch, crunch.
No. I don't know. I didn't do too much, like outside, unless it was just Robotech. I was reading those novelizations.
Mechas. Yeah.
or whatever we had to read in school. That's about it. And then comic phase. It's just purely alien stuff, though. Dark Horse.
Oh, hentai.
No access to that yet. God damn. But yeah, I mean, we encourage our listeners to go out and read children's books at this age.
Okay, so we're gonna do a book summary, right? We had 3 stories and then a book, right?
Oh, I didn't have. No, I just had the 3 stories.
Oh shit. Okay, well.
You want to do?
Yeah. Okay, so I got a book that I want to recommend. It is called The Thief of Always by Clive Barker. It was published in 1992, and I read it when I was maybe about 13 years old. Anyway, The Thief of Always starts out by introducing the main character, Harvey Swick. John Wick. Harvey Swick is a 10-year-old boy who finds himself bored with school, uninterested in teachers, homework, and his day-to-day life. You know, he never liked sports, never liked girls, never liked going to school. But when he said he never liked reggae, I just had to lose my cool. So, one day, /night/twilight, he meets a man named Rictus who flies up to his window and tells him about a kid's paradise, the Holiday House. At the Holiday House, there are all the sweets a person could ever ask for. 4 seasons in one day, Halloween every evening, Christmas with whatever gifts you could wish for every night, and everything else you could ever dream of. So Harvey reluctantly goes to the house after a week of pondering, and he enters the house through a wall of mist. Harvey enjoys the wonders of the Holiday House and stays there for 31 days, becoming friends with Wendell and Lulu, 2 other kids who are at the house. There's also a woman named Mrs. Griffin who cooks all the meals for the children. She's super nice and sweet, or so we think. However, he eventually starts to suspect that the house is not as perfect as it seems. Upon investigation, Harvey discovers that the house's creator, Mr. Hood, sucks all of the children's souls and turns them into fish, imprisoning them in a dark and gloomy lake. After that, Harvey and Wendell are trapped in the house, and they escape by following a cat named Blue Cat through the mist barrier that constantly surrounds the property of the house. When Harvey and Wendell come home, they soon discover that for every day they spent in the Holiday House, a year has passed in the rest of the world. When Harvey meets his parents, he thinks he went to the wrong house, but he's wrong. He sees his mother and realizes that something's fishy. They're old and shit. And they also don't believe his story, but they recognize something about him, so they invite him in. And they go to search for the house that Harvey's telling him about, but he just can't remember shit. So eventually they take him to the police, or they take the story to the police. And while they're there, Harvey gets visited by Wendell, and Wendell shares his experiences too. At his house, things have definitely changed. He's still a little boy, but everything else, people have died, people have gotten old. And they reason that the only way to get out of there is to go back to the house and fucking break the curse or go back to wherever they started from. So when they get back to the land of the house, Harvey learns that the way Hood runs the entire house is he has a certain amount of magic that he uses to create illusions and wishes. So the way that Harvey defeats Hood is by tricking him into using up all of his magic by wishing for as many things as he can think of as fast as he can, one by one, to drain Hood's power. When an exhausted Hood allows Harvey one more wish after he's at the brink, Harvey asks for all of the seasons at once, resulting in a furious lightning storm that burns down the house. Hood seems like he perishes in the fire, but he manages to rebuild a body from the debris of the house, and then he comes to Harvey and he's admiring his courage, contrasting him with Wendell, who, when faced with the big decision, Wendell succumbed to the house's lures and just agreed to stay there forever like a little faggot. So Hood offers Harvey, who he calls a thief of always, the chance to be a vampire with him. Yeah, Mr. Hood is a vampire with magic. And be immortal. Harvey refuses, and this final confrontation ends when Hood is knocked into the lake, which has turned into a vortex, and sucks him in. So after he's dust, all the children are freed from their fish slavery shit, and they go back to their respective times and lives. And Harvey has a new appreciation for his life and his parents.
Damn. Well, how long is this book?
300 pages. Not very long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Thief of Always.
Clive Barker? If you want to read weird stuff, just read V.C. Andrews.
No idea.
The Flowers in the Attic.
Oh, that's adult. Well, not adult, but
Wasn't I don't know if the target audience was teens, but just read that one book. No, actually don't.
It's a kind of dope movie. if what I recall.
All right.
But yeah, that is our Schrodys.
The book club.
Wine.
You cut us off, son. Okay, getting back to imaginary girlfriends. Sometimes, and I mean just sometimes, I go on Match.com and I look at the profiles of interesting women, and like I soundtrack our relationship, sometimes to the end, where I'm reading her excerpts from her diary, trying to remind her of us, because she's dying of old timers and doesn't remember our life together.
That's not weird at all.
Right?
Dude, that was super sarcastic.
Shut it, hater. So like, I'll find this super cutie with dope eyes and she's like into wine. I feel like a lot of grown-ass women say they're into wine. I don't know if all the females on Match are alkies, but anyway, she says she's from a big family, and I hate family, but I can see in her eyes that this isn't a thing. She's in her gray/black long sleeve with her right shoulder showing, and that smile, and all I'm hearing is like, "You looking kinda lonely, girl. Would you like someone new to talk to? Fuck yeah. All right." And then from there, it's the montage, son. She's a cake designer. Apparently, that's a job nowadays. And like my jiu-jitsu tournament is the same day as her competition, and it's super important to me because I'm about to get my black belt after I beat down these brown belt fools. But like, it's empty without her in the audience. Jiu-jitsu just doesn't feel the same without her, so I tap out, even though I obviously could be this bastard. And I run over to the stage where she's about to unveil her masterpiece, and she's all bummed because I said I wasn't going to be there. But then there I am, and boom! She's lit up because she sees me and she wins. And fast forward, the bird of our first son, Micah, he's so small, but he's so bright. And of course, we love him. And her dream is that he become an astronaut because he's so good at math. But I know his secret love is distant running, and I encourage that because I see what he can be. The Kenyans don't play, but neither does my son, Micah. Fast forward to the Olympics. He's toe-to-toe with Ojimwale Ogalijimga, and he has a heart attack at 24. But what we don't know was that he had a heart defect that only showed now. And now he's dead, and me and my wife have to deal with this. She blames me, so we divorced and we don't speak for years. But I never forget how I feel about her. And then she gets to the old timers, and my life becomes about visiting her and reading her stories from her book. Finally, she does remember me, us, and our son, and she does remember. And we all died together, same time. Same time.
Wow.
Same time.
God damn. All right. Whatever.
Let's just roll out the 706. 706.
The box. We came. Now you must come with us. Taste our pleasures.
All right, this Seno 6 is top death scenes. So spoiler alert, and we're not specific to any type of death, be it a hero's death or a gruesome bloody death.
Yeah, just a list of our favorite memorable ones that you might want to check out if you haven't. Oh yeah, no dog or pet deaths. Those are always fucked and deserve their own list.
Yeah, so remember, if you hear this, our picks are different.
And if you hear this, our picks are the same. Top death scenes, go!
Alright, my list is actually geared towards a hero's sacrifice. One so significant it saves someone or a crapload of people. Their death is certainly not in vain. At number 6, I have Cyclops. Not the X-Man, but from Krull, played by Bernard Breslau. He was like a real Cyclops. One eye. It was at the ending of Krull, so Colwyn and company have to make it down to the Black Fortress before it teleports. And Cyclops didn't want to tag along because it would mean a very painful death. I guess it was foretold.
Yeah.
But he does go down regardless, like when
That
the group
road.
needed him most. So he's holding down the doors to the fortress before it teleports, and he gets the remaining group inside. By doing so, the doors close in on him, crushing him to death. And it's pretty gnarly watching someone get crushed like that, you know, so slowly too. Indeed, it was a very painful death, but a worthy sacrifice. Thank you, Cyclops.
Oh yeah, he reminded me of like a one-eyed Klingon. I remember that, you know. Krull was a creepy as fuck movie. I feel like the 80s were just a creepy fucking time for fantasy films. Thank you, Jim Henson. My number 6, Kevin Spacey in L.A. Confidential. Have you seen that? L.A. Confidential?
I read like the first 2 chapters of the book.
This guy and his books. Okay, well, it actually is better than... Well, it's sort of better than the book because it's a standalone. The book is part of a trilogy that this one totally negates. Anyway, so Spacey reports his findings to his boss, and then his boss shoots him. And as he dies, you can see the wheels in his head turning as he figures out that the rat he's been trying to chase is his boss. So as he dies, he volleys the ball back to his boss, so to speak, uttering the name Rollo Tomasi, the significance of which is only known to Guy Pearce's character, another cop who is also involved in this whole big fucking convoluted mess. So Rollo Tomasi was like the Kaiser Soze of bad guys that Guy Pearce had named the unknown mugger that killed his father. He just randomly gave this unknown guy a name so he had someone to like fucking hate. And he happened to share this name and this story with Spacey. So when Spacey drops this at the moment of his murder, his boss then gives himself away as the bad guy when he goes to Guy Pearce, being like, you know, we got to catch this bad guy, Rollo Tomasi, because that's who killed Kevin Spacey. And it's basically writing the name of your killer in blood. Awesome.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, side note, Rollo Tomasi is also a band from the UK. They're on Holy Roar Records. Check them out.
Definitely. They must love that movie.
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't know that.
That's where it came from, yeah.
Or
and
if it has any connection.
It obviously does, dude.
Oh, okay.
And Rollo Tomasi is the device written that came up with by the screenwriters and Curtis Hanson. It's not from the novel.
Oh, okay. Wow. Interesting. At number 5, I have Doyle, played by Jeremy Renner. 28 weeks later, a sharpshooter with a good heart. We get to know Doyle throughout the movie, and I myself make the mistake of getting attached because at one point,
it's easy to, though, right?
Yeah, we think he's gonna make it.
Right.
I mean, oh man, and it totally broke my heart. He helped these 2 kids, Imogen Poots and Macintosh Muggleton, right, and a fellow soldier, Roseburn. Yeah, Muggleton.
That's right. She was a soldier. Yeah, she was like an army doctor or something, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's working hard to get these 3 to safety. And it's too bad he had to be the one to push the car to get it started. You know, and after getting to know this guy, honestly, it was a bit of a turnoff when Doyle got flamed up. But his sacrifice was not in vain, as the 2 kids did make it to the stadium and take Doyle's seat on the chopper. Roseburn, unfortunately, didn't make it either.
The chopper.
But that was because of a rager. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that movie. And how most of the principals get murked. It's like a dope military/war movie, but it's like also a zombie flick. I don't know if you caught it, but Renner, I think actually you said he was a sniper, but did you catch that he was a Delta Force sniper? So he's like top tier.
Oh.
And Harold Perrineau, who was the chopper pilot, was most likely a night stalker, seeing as he was a warrant officer and a badass pilot. He also had the Army's JSOC red arrowhead with the sword tattooed on his arm. I pretty much like Delta Force anything. I really didn't want Doyle to die, but he took it like a G. So at 5, I've got John Hurt from Alien. That moment when the alien bursts out of his chest is such a significant moment in the history of cinema and man, I feel.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and their reactions are real, right?
Right, he's like coffee.
Yeah.
And everybody's making jokes and shit, and then
Well,
and then
the actors themselves didn't know, right? They didn't expect that.
I didn't know that.
So those were real, sincere reactions. But yeah, it's pretty bloody. Like, and then the whole time
they're just like, yeah, because I don't think to that point nobody had seen shit like that, right?
No,
in cinema.
No. Yeah, and for it to burst out of a man, you know,
and run across the table like a little fucking worm.
And they're telling him to bite down on a spoon. Like, oh, okay, no thanks. And then
I guess that's the old way of like, if you gotta deal with pain or some shit.
I think they don't want him to bite off his tongue.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Right. And then he did it again so well in Spaceballs.
John Hurt was actually in Spaceballs?
Yeah, he parodied his own scene in Spaceballs.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Nice.
At number 4, I have Robert Capa. Sunshine, played by Cillian Murphy. This was like 85% sci-fi and 15% horror.
100% shitty.
Like really, like the last part of the movie kind of took a turn, which caused everyone to be killed off.
It did!
Yeah. And one person left to finish the mission. Like, that was just, I don't know.
Like, I wasn't paying attention for a bit, like 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden I started paying attention again, and people were just getting murked.
Yeah. But I think it turned, I guess, religious based.
Oh, did it?
The mission, of course, is basically to create a star within a star. Earth's sun is dying. There isn't enough of it to make Earth habitable, but it's still hot enough that you can't get too close to it. Like, you see that scene where Cliff Curtis is increasing.
He's in this movie too, Uncle
Yeah.
Bully.
Yeah, yeah.
Shit.
He's a ship psychologist, I believe.
Wow, Uncle Bully is a psych.
Yeah.
Nice.
So people don't get crazy up there, right?
Cabin fever.
But
Solaris.
so what does Earth do to solve this problem? Make a bomb. Now Kappa is the one who built this bomb, pretty much the most valuable person on the ship and Earth's last hope. His death is quick. It's noble and unique because he got to see the sun up close and personal, something no other human will ever get to experience.
By close, do you mean 1.3 million miles from it? That's about as close as a spacecraft could get before being incinerated, but everyone aboard would probably die from cosmic radiation about 40 million miles from it. Also, I've seen that movie like 2 or 3 times, and I still don't get it! I fucking hate that boring-ass piece of crap. I don't know what you love about it. I know it's Danny Boyle and Cillian Murphy, but... Numero 4. Leon, the Professional. I'm surprised you haven't listed that one. Maybe it's higher on your list. I know you love this movie. I love this movie. I love Leon. And I love how he goes out. This is from Matilda. Also, Matilda's the worst name for a little girl. That's like an old lady name. I'd watch a sequel, though. They could call it Matilda. They could like make it an action or just like a drama that follows an adult Matilda.
Uh-huh. Okay, yeah, sure. At number 3, I have Uncle Bob, aka the T-800 Cyberdyne Systems Model 101, aka the Terminator, aka Arnold, but he doesn't actually go by that. Maybe Pops in Genesis. Yeah, but we know who he is though. Terminator 2. So technically, this ain't a hero sacrifice. Technically. Although I would argue that the Terminator is well aware of his actions. At the end when he's lowered down into the molten steel, there's a part in the Terminator's programming that prevents it from self-terminating. So throughout the movie, the Terminator is learning about the human condition through interaction, verbal, physical, and emotional. Terminator sees his first set of tears through John after they break Sarah out of the mental institute. And then he tries to learn more about it when they're fixing up that car in Mexico. Why do you cry? And when they say goodbye,
What's wrong with your face?
He finally understands what causes a person to cry.
It's leaking.
Yeah. To what extent is his comprehension? I don't know. But it's enough for machines such as the Terminator to know that he's, it's something he can never do. And it's Niagara Falls when he gives that thumbs up. Thank you, Terminator, for your efforts and sacrifice for the human race.
Fuck yeah, I cried. Like a little bitch-ass bitch.
And Sarah Connor shakes hands with the Terminator. It's like, whoa. All that hate, and then it was such a significant moment.
She got to like overcome from her experience with it in the first
with
one.
The Terminator, right?
That's like the worst thing she's ever dealt with that caused her to be like the badass final girl that she is. I still wish that Terminator was my dad. I still do. God damn it, James Cameron.
He'll never leave his side.
Right? He'll never get drunk. And
I order you not to go. I order you not to go.
John. Anyway, James Cameron, hurry up and get the rights back. They keep fucking your shit up, man. I hated Genesis first time through. Second and third time, though, it kind of grew on me. Parts of it. I still don't like Khaleesi as Sarah Connor. Game of Terminators. Still better than Terminator 3 and fucking Salvation. What an ironic title, seeing as that piece of shit is beyond Salvation. Numero 3. Santino, a.k.a. Sonny Corleone from The Godfather. I liken him to Ultra Magnus from Transformers the movie. He's the heir apparent, but he is just not cut out for top-level leadership. At the toll booth, though, he does like a fucking bullet dance. They popped him with like 8 trillion rounds. Back in the VHS days, this scene marked the end of tape 1, so it was like a super downer. I wouldn't say I cried at this one, but it was like, fuck.
Damn, yeah, he did go out like rough, man.
Fuck, right?
At number 2,
What you got?
I have Leon.
Leon! I knew it had to be on your list.
Played by Jean Reno, the Professional.
Le Professional.
Yeah. Leon's death is like, it's a 2-parter. So it starts off dramatic, heavily emphasized by Eric Serra's score, and unexpected because Leon gets shot from behind. Now he's on the ground on his last few breaths. His last words, yeah, this is from Matilda. More dramatic than that, though.
He hands him the.
Yeah, while giving the ring to Gary Oldman. Now he's dead. So the significance of his death is huge. Now I don't want to go too much into it because that'll take time. But I will say his death is very poetic and a bit romantic. Leon took out Gary Oldman so that Matilda wouldn't do it. He wanted to keep her innocent. The same reason why he didn't have sex with her. He didn't want her to grow up, or he wanted her to grow and have roots. And that's probably why this movie will never have a sequel, and it shouldn't. Leon, what a guy. It'll never happen. It'll never happen.
So you wouldn't go see a sequel entitled Matilda?
I would, but for sure I would go watch it. But
what if I directed it? Would you
okay, yeah, for sure. If a sequel does happen, I'll definitely go watch it. But it's one of those. It's definitely a one shot. Like I can live happily ever after without a sequel.
That out there. Okay.
With that ending, yeah. But if they do make a second one, for sure, definitely. We just go watch Colombian, right? Colombian. With Zoe.
Oh, Colombiana.
Colombian, right? Colombian.
Was that a sequel to something?
They
just said, like how she was a little girl and then all of a sudden she came like in Assassino.
I think if there was gonna be a sequel to Matilda,
it'd be something like that.
It would be that, yeah. Because that's Luc Besson, right?
I don't know if he directed it. I think he probably had it in the writing, but I feel like maybe that was more the Taken guy, his protege.
He only did Taken 2 and 3.
Oh, the Shetty ones. Okay, so not even his protege would touch this. Not bad, though. Not bad. I like Colombiana. Okay, so my number 2, I have Peter Weller in 1987's RoboCop as Alex Murphy.
That's a really good one.
The violence in this film has a vulgar poetry to it. Plus, it's so graphic and jarring as they blow him apart limb by limb with shotguns and shit. The remake totally missed the point. I feel like the remake blew the original apart limb by limb and then reconstituted it as a shiny, polished piece of shit and said, "Come and see." And I saw, and behold, it was a super expensive piece of shit. Anyway, I was 7 years old when the original came out, and Peter Weller's horrifying death has stuck with me ever since.
All right, honorable mentions. First off, I have Predator 2, Bill Paxton. He was like the last man standing on that train.
I love Bill Paxton.
Yeah, with everyone.
I got a little dick, it's pathetic.
True lies, yes. He was on that train with everyone trying to fight off that one Predator, and he didn't back away. Like, he ran out of ammo, and then he had just that, I don't know if it was a ping pong ball or whatever, but he eventually got his spine torn out, which is pretty gross, yeah.
Legit.
Damn. But number 2, Charles S. Dutton, Alien 3,
Rock.
Dylan. Let's see, going on one-on-one with the Xenomorph. He got himself in a scenario in which the alien wasn't letting him get away with Ripley. So, he went toe-to-toe with it.
Yeah, he's like, fuck it, let's go.
Eventually it killed him, and then soon he was burned in hot molten lead. Yeah. Or buried in it. That's pretty sick.
Ouch.
Ouch. And number 3, Randy Quaid, Independence Day. His sacrifice ended the war with the aliens and gave the people of Earth a new reason to celebrate Independence Day. I'm back.
That was a good death.
Yeah. That's
like a samurai would say, this was a good death. I don't remember Paxton's demise in Predator 2, though. I might have to revisit it. For my honorables, I've got Bruce Willis as Harry Stamper in Michael Bay's surprisingly good film Armageddon.
Surprising. That was excellent, yeah.
That part where he calls Batfleck his son right before he saves him and sacrifices himself, I actually cried.
Oh.
In the theater, 18 years old, crying in the theater like a little bitch-ass bitch. My son. I
always thought of you as a son, AJ.
No!
I love you!
And don't want to close. Anyway. Little bitch-ass bitch crying and shit. Next, I've got the ConSec executive from Scanners who gets his head blown the fuck up. Classic and hilarious shit. Great effect too. Not sure if it was like practical or a combination, but it was awesome. Lastly, I have that stupid little kid from Halloween 3, Season of the Shit, who puts the pumpkin mask on and falls over and snakes and shit ooze out of his dead head and kills his parents. Awesome. I hate this fucking movie, but I love this death. I was like, die, irritating little fuck. That's what you get for participating in marketing focus group shit.
God damn. Poor kid.
Fuck that kid.
Anyway, our number ones.
Number one. One.
All right, my number one death scene goes to Spock.
Ooh.
Leonard Nimoy, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. What a sacrifice. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few and the one. That exchange between Spock and Kirk is so dramatic. I mean that in a good way, of course. Spock got to say the things he needed to say to Kirk, and we as an audience got to hear what we wanted to hear. To Spock, it was a logical act. To us, it was noble. Live long and prosper.
That's such a dope thing. Vulcans. Yeah, Spock's death and The Wrath of Khan in general, dope ass shit. Probably my favorite Star Trek movie. Like, ever. My number one pick for favorite death scenes. Near, far. Oh my god, an iceberg! Titanic! I love the death of the ship and all the people that perish as it sinks into hell. The trapped and drawn people, the fallen people who hit the propellers and break in half on the rails, the people who hit the water and shatter, and those who get sucked into the abyss and then scattered bodies that litter the sea in the aftermath like turds. All those hopeful idiots murked in one fell swoop. But mostly, I love when DiCaprio dies. Kate Winslet's all like, "I'll never let go, Jack." And what does she do? She fucking lets go. Mentirosa! Also, the driftwood, was it not big enough for them both to like be on? Anyway, I love this scene. It just sucks that you have to wait 37 hours to see it. In the old days, at least. Now you can just YouTube it, prob. But it's dope. It's like 20 minutes of just people getting fucked up. Titanic is definitely one of my favorite horror comedies. Could have done without the love story, though, but what else? If you haven't seen it, you should check it out, especially if you like Sharknado type of shit.
Oh my god.
It's dope, dude. You know, the last...
Oh, it is, yeah.
The last act.
For sure. You know that thing's like 3 hours.
Right.
But it's like you don't notice the time going by because it's so good.
Well...
Like, I can watch that over and over.
I don't think that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
but...
okay.
Okay, I mean, if you like it for the story, then you'll love it at the ending part, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, if you just want to see the ending too, it's super great. So many people die. So yeah, top 6
death scenes.
Death scenes.
Cool. So look, for real, is Texas for real or no?
She's real. Realer than Mox's Match.com, honey. Michael, seriously?
I didn't pick the name, bitch.
Even in your own fantasies, you didn't even get to pick the name of your own son?
I like strong women.
Agreed. Okay, let's shut this shit down, sons.
When does Annika get back?
May, I think.
So I'm on the next ep? Cool. Maybe I'll bring Texas by. Blow all y'all minds.
Or just blow us. Anyway, once again, thanks for stopping by and checking out today's show. Check out past episodes on iTunes if you're bored, and subscribe if you haven't already. Tell a friend, tell your girlfriend's friend, tell your ex-girlfriend, and all imaginary friends, girl or otherwise. Also, you'd be doing us a hell of a favor if you kindly leave a review on iTunes and rate the show. Check us out on Twitter at cynical_mass.
That's CINECAL_MASS. Same goes for Instagram and Facebook. Please do check out our YouTube channel. We've got a bunch of playlists and also past episodes along with trailers on there too. Just search Nekko Media. That's NEKKO. And if you'd like to get into contact with us with any questions or comments, recommendations, general correspondence, stories of your tawdry affairs, anything at all, shoot us an email, cinephiles and cenobites@gmail.com. We're also on Tumblr at cinephiles-cenobites.tumblr.com. New episodes. The first and fifth Mondays of every month. We'll keep you posted on the website launch.
Shout out to the Slashtag Pod and family, Slashtag Movie Pod Squad, John and Rachel at Don't Go Down That Road, Brandon and the homies at Basement Condition, Canada, Chris and the Iowa boys of Bud's Beers Brutality, showing off John and his new cast now in Technicolor, Cult 45 Podcast, Kung Fu Drive and the Cutaways, and all of the homies out there in the Movie Pod Squad and the podcast universe. Respect. And stay rating, Oakland.
All right, thanks again for checking out today's episode. I'm Onofre on the tweets at This Is Ono. That's This Is OHNO. Please check out my music podcast, takingaleadmedia.com, on Twitter at TTLM Podcast. Some cool themed episodes coming up real soon. They also be playing right now, so be sure to check it. Also, my gaming channel, search on YouTube, Gimme Seconds, on Twitter at Gimme Seconds. Speedrun Thursdays and Small Kind Clip Sundays. Some other new things coming up on that channel as well. Please check it out.
From the Blood Cave for Nekko Media, this has been Cinephiles and Cenobites, member of the Slashtag Podding family and the Movie Pod Squad. I'm Schrody, wishing you lucid dreams. For Mox and Ono and my super real new girlfriend Texas, keep the lights on and check under that bed, cause there's only one universal truth. No lives matter. That means you.
We have candy.
This is a Nekko Media podcast.